Now, I'm of the opinion there's no real quarterback battle going on for Michigan Wolverines. I think it's Bryce Underwood's job. I think if it were anybody else, it would have to take a Herculean effort during fall camp in Ann Arbor, which could happen, far be it from me, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this is Bryce Underwood going to start for you at Michigan this year. So with that being the context here, what's a good season for the true freshman? Like, you hear everything from, he's got to win the Heisman Trophy, he's got to carry him to the college football playoff. Like, you don't really hear those things, but the hype around him is so immense that I'm sure there are people whispering those things. But we're going to try and just have an honest conversation right now. What would be a good season for Bryce Underwood, his first year as the guy for Michigan? We'll break it down right now. Before we do that, though, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. College football, nothing but college football. It's a beautiful thing. Michigan fans appreciate y'all being dialed in. Here's the first thing that I think would qualify a good season for Bryce Underwood. Like, the floor is already set extremely, extremely low based on what last year was. Like, a good season is just better than what you had last year at quarterback. Like, if Michigan's going to be successful, I need a better overall average output, which isn't saying a lot. That's kind of the easy part. Going hand in hand with that, I would need a good season from Bryce Underwood to include the break glass in case of emergency situation where his legs get you out of trouble. Because that's the beautiful part about Bryce Underwood. Even if, let's just say, the college football adaptation for him from high school is a lot. Like, he was able to do whatever he wanted at the high school level. He's the best athlete on the field. His arm is a bazooka. He can fit into tight windows. Like, there's not a lot that Bryce Underwood had to stay away from doing at the high school level, I have to believe. So let's just say that the worst case scenario hits. Defenses are disguising at a high level. The level of athlete he's playing against is hard to acclimate to. If he's still able to just be better for you on the ground and give you another way to move the football offensively, I think that's a good season. I really do. That's a key ingredient to the good season. I would also say a good season for me would have a minimum amount of freshman moments, if you will. And you guys all know what I mean. Anytime a quarterback as a first-year starter, especially as a freshman, pops in college football, you get excited. You kind of jump on the hype train a little bit, but there's also this one thought creeping in the back of your mind of, okay, well, when's the other shoe going to drop? When is there that moment where we say, okay, he's still a freshman? Like Graham Mertz, his first start, I think, was on like a weeknight for Wisconsin, and he went berserk through like 4 or 5 touchdowns. And we're like, is Graham Mertz going to win the Heisman Trophy? Is Wisconsin throwing the ball right now? And then the rest of the year progresses. And Graham Mertz has a good year, but in the context of what that first game was, there was still some come back to earth part of it. That's maybe a poor example relative to Bryce Underwood, because I don't think it's going to be quite as easy of a ramp up for him relative to what Graham Mertz was playing against that first game. But like, you go to Oklahoma week 2, Bryce Underwood, for your first road start. Is that a game where he takes care of the football and is the reason why Michigan has success on offense? Or is there some moments where it's like, dang, those 2 picks in the second half, those were the freshman moments that kept us from winning that game? I'm not saying I have the answers, but I am saying relative to a good season from Bryce Underwood, I need the minimum amount of freshman moments from him. I think it's tricky to discuss what he's going to be in 2025 because there's so many different factors within the Michigan offense that are going to be new, with a new offensive coordinator and a new, I would say, go-to receiver in Donovan McCulley, and new pieces in that backfield with Justice Haynes. But I do think Bryce Underwood doesn't have to be the savior of Michigan football relative to last year where you won 7 games, but I do think you need to be still the reason why we're winning football games. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple of games here, like at Oklahoma, I already mentioned, at USC, Washington. You can't just be a game manager, I don't think, in those spots if you're Bryce Underwood. Like, I need him to have that special sauce, those wow moments, those number one player in America moments that he was in high school, show up in those crucial games where it could kind of go either way. And that's not me telling you that Washington has a better roster than Michigan, but Washington beat Michigan last year. Like, USC felt like they had that game won last year in the fourth quarter. Like, does Bryce Underwood still make the difference for you as the guy in a more quarterback-driven offense in 2025? So I said it before, if you can promise me that Bryce Underwood's going to account for 30 touchdowns, that's a lot. I'd put him in the top tier of what the modern Michigan quarterback has been here over the course of the last few years. You can promise me 30 total touchdowns, I think Michigan's a playoff team. The schedule is going to be workable enough to where they can be in that game in the last week of the regular season and have a chance to punch their ticket against Ohio State, which I think Michigan fans would take and not even think twice about it. But 30 touchdowns, I think that would mean the offensive output is at a different enough level from what they were last year. And the defense, we're all assuming, is going to be more than good enough based on the way that they talk about them right now during fall camp. And Wink Martindale's still running the show. 30 touchdowns from Bryce Underwood total is not just a good season. That's a great season. That's a college football playoff season. So for Bryce Underwood, to recap it here, better overall average pitch, okay, from what you were last year at the quarterback position for Michigan. Minimum freshman moments. I don't need you to whip this thing like a Ferrari. I just need us to not crash the car on the road trip. And then also still be the reason. Don't need you to be the savior, Bryce. Just be the reason why Michigan football wins games here in 2025. But Michigan fans, let me know, what would you qualify as a good season for Bryce Underwood, his first year as the starting quarterback for Michigan here in 2025, which again is my assumption, feels like a somewhat safe assumption. For Cato on the ones and twos, who has y'all in the college football playoff, all right? For myself, PicKell, appreciate y'all, love y'all. We'll keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.